Hello, 40k fans and players. Welcome to episode 1 of playing Warhammer for free. That is right, for free. I am excited today to display to you all what is possible with Roll20, Wahapedia, and Battlescribe. So the first battle report on this channel will be me. Hello, I'm T, creator and owner of PWFF, and I will be playing my signature army of Space Wolves, and I am joined by the marvelous Tron the Blacksmith from Warforged Dice.
Hello.
And he will be playing with his army of Necrons. Before we continue, a big shout out to Warforged Dice, the sponsor for this video. Warforged Dice make quality dice that look amazing, feel great when you give your dice a good shake before you roll, and for the DMs out there, they roll high against your players. The link for their Etsy shop will be in the description of this video, so be the dice goblin you are meant to be and buy from Warforged Dice. We are going to be playing with the following rules today. Deployment is going to be Handler and Anvil. Primary mission is going to be to deploy servo skulls. So we're going to be scoring primary based upon where the objective marker is. More if it's on our opponents, 5 if it's in the no man's land, and 2 if it's in our home objective. And we get to move the primary, so that's going to be interesting, which pairs well with our mission rule today, which is hidden supplies, meaning that there are now 2 objective markers in the center of the battlefield and not just 1. My list for today's video will be using the Stormlands Task Force detachment from the Space Marine Codex. I have 3 squads of 6 Thunderwolf cavalry, all with shields, 2 of which are being led by 1 Wolf Lord on a Thunderwolf and a Wolf Guard battle leader on a Thunderwolf, whereas the 3rd squad is led by a battle leader and Herald Deathwolf. The Lords all have Power Fists and Plasma Pistols. The battle leaders are Storm Shields and Power Fists. And there are also 3 squads of attack bikes, 2 solos, 1 with 2. All 4 of them have multi-meltas. There are 3 Invader ATVs, also with multi-meltas. And my Warlord today will be Logan Grimnar. He and a Wolfguard battle leader in Terminator armor who has a Power Fist and a Storm Bolter will be leading a squad of 5 Wolfguard Terminators, all with fists and Storm Bolters, and 1 will have the Cyclone Missile Launcher. They will be in Deep Strike, which is why when I show you the armies, you won't see them on the table. To end my list, I also have 1 Storm Speeder Hail Strike in Deep Strike, and 1 Wolfguard Pack Leader with a Jump Pack equipped with a Plasma Pistol and a Power Fist, also in Deep Strike. Really hoping to let those Thunderwolf Cavalry just do most of the work, and the Deep Striking units are primarily there just to score some secondaries. So, Mr. Tron's list today is going to be using the Awakened Dynasty detachment. He has Emotech the Storm Lord leading a min squad of 5 Lich Guard with Dispersion Shields and Hyperphase swords. We have 3 Technomancers, all of which are leading 3 squads of 6 Wraiths with Claws and Beamers, 3 Canoptech Reanimators, 3 squads of 5 Immortals, and 3 squads of Locust Heavy Destroyers, all of which are going to be equipped with Gauss Destructors. Going to be pretty interesting.
Don't forget the Ascended Catan.
Yeah, the Night Lord is also in the list too. He's out there moping around. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys our map today. So this is the map we're going to be playing with. This is the army on the board. And I will show you what it looks like after we get done deployment, but before we roll off to see who goes first or second. Okay, so after we rolled off for deployment, this is what Mr. Tron's deployment's looking like down here, with all his race and stuff going for the center objectives. And then I deployed. I had less drop, so I was done a lot faster. So kind of got everything over here. I'm hoping this left flank over here goes down there. This goes, right here into this center. And then Herald Deathwolf and his little push. I'm going to try and make a little bit of a bold play here and go over there. I don't know how good that'll work, but we will see. We just rolled off for who goes first, second. I won roll off, so I'll be going first. So at the end of the turn, I will show you what the board looks like. I almost forgot my secondaries. I drew Deploy Teleport Homer and no prisoners. I'm going to keep Homer because I can score the 3 VP on it. I have enough movement with Wolves to get into the center of the battlefield to do the action. I don't think I will actually kill anything this turn, so I don't think I'll score no prisoners. But I'm going to keep it because I'm probably going to discard it at the end of my turn and get a CP so that I can do more defensive stratagem stuff during Tron's turn, because Stormlance is really focused on doing that kind of stuff. So that's what I got this turn. So here's what the board looks like. All of his stuff is still alive, and all my stuff kind of moved up. That's kind of what I figured would happen when you're playing a melee army. It is a little limited in terms of what you can really do on the first turn. So move these guys up, advance them, got them firmly on the objective, and gave kind of hugging this wall over here so I can get cover, hopefully, and maybe even reactively move the attack bikes up and advance them. This invader ATV is back here to get my home objective. Move these guys up and advance them 9 with the full throttle stratagem. This attack bike moved up without advancing, so it's the one performing deploy Homer. This invader ATV moved up, shot at these immortals down here, didn't kill one. And then these guys moved down, didn't advance, shot the plasma pistol, the attack bike, and the invader ATV with their 24-inch bolt shots into these blue wraiths. Clearly didn't do anything. So I scored 3 for deployed teleport Homer. I don't think I'm going to be scoring no prisoners for a while because those wraiths are made to last. So I am just going to discard it for a CP. My ultimate target was the blue wraiths, so that when they charge here, I can at least get reroll hit rolls against them if I get to fight back. So there's that. With this mission at the end of the turn, I do get to move some objective markers, so I will show what they look like after I do that. So this is what it looks like after I move them. I move these 2 objective markers back towards me just to make it a little harder for him to just swarm those with wraiths. I actually put this one closer. I have sort of a long-term goal of putting that in his deployment zone, but I don't. For now, I don't particularly think it matters if it goes any direction because there's a lot of terrain there that's going to make it difficult to get onto, and I have a lot of OC with these guys on there. So, but that is it for my movement of the objectives. So we're going to be going into Tron's turn 1, and I will show you what the board looks like after he kills a bunch of my stuff. Here, Tron's 2 secondaries he pulled for turn. He elected to keep both of them. So we'll see how it shapes up. So this is where the turn ended. We move it over here on the right side. I used a CP for Wind Swift Evasion to move farther back, which caused the charge here to fail, which was the point. These blue heavy locust destroyers shot over here at the invader ATV and took it out, and my attack bikes were too far away to activate escort to shoot back, so they got away with that scotch-free. Here in the middle, these green guys shot over here at the invader ATV, didn't kill it, but took it down to 2 wounds remaining. So this attack bike got to shoot with escort, killed one of them. And then, as you can see here, these red wraiths moved up, charged, killed 2 wolves. Wolves attacked back, took one of them down to 1 wound remaining. But that was all of that engagement. And then over here, we did the same thing with our second rites of battle. We used Wind Swift Evasion to move farther back to make the charge harder, which caused the charge to fail. And then these red individuals shot over here at this invader ATV, failed to kill it, and this attack bike got to shoot back with escort and killed one of them. Mr. Tron did not score engage on all fronts or area denial. For having other models within 3 and 6 of the center and didn't have enough forward momentum or didn't make enough charge to get engaged. So he elected to get rid of engage on all fronts, despite the fact he didn't gain a CP for it, because Emotech the Stormlord is conveniently sitting right here on his home objective. And he's keeping area denial in the hopes that he can score it later. I believe that is all. Oh, and in terms of CP, I ended up using all my CP this turn on a reroll, on Armor of Contempt here in the center, and on one of the Wind Swift Evasions. Mr. Tron only used 2. He used 1 to try and reroll a charge, and another one on giving these wraiths here +1 AP and +1 strength on their attacks during the melee phase. So Mr. Tron doesn't score any secondaries this turn, and he moved this No Man's Land objective marker back a little bit to have better control over it. And so on to my turn 2. So for my 2 secondaries, I scored area denial and capture enemy outposts. Area denial is going to be interesting because he's got a lot of stuff on the set on the middle objective. But if I can kill him off of the middle objective, I can deny him his area denial. So that's there. Capture enemy outposts. I have a lot of stuff in Deep Strike. There's just enough room for me to get my Terminators and my Storm Speeder Hellstrike in. Matter of fact, if you look right there, they've spawned in the backfield, and now they're gunning for that objective. So if I can manage to make a 9-inch charge, which I doubt I will, I can score capture enemy outpost. But even if I can't score it this turn, this is 8 victory points, which is a lot, so I can at least try to score it on the next turn, which should be pretty good. So show what it looks like after we do some charges and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff happened this turn. As you can see, Logan Grimnar charged into these Lich Guard, managed to kill off enough of them to consolidate onto the objective. Unfortunately, I didn't kill enough of them to take the objective because Logan Grimnar and the Terminators are both OC1. So is Emotech and the Lich Guard. So I actually don't score capture enemy outpost because technically nobody controls this objective. It's being contested over. So that is fun. Up here when we go over, these guys came down in charge, took out a number of wraiths, but they are still there and they're going to have some opportunities to reanimate. These guys in the middle tried their hardest to clear out this red squad. I popped Rites of Battle to give them Lance. I used Logan Grimnar's ability to give them +1 to hit. I spent my CP on the grenade stratagem to do as much damage as I could. I did clear out those red wraiths, but I didn't kill this Technomancer, so I'm not scoring area denial either. Over here on this side, Herald Deathwolf's squad charged in, killed off some green wraiths. They fought back, did some damage to that guy. This is going to be, this one over here is probably going to be a little bit of a slog. Moved all the attack bikes and invader ATVs and stuffed up, killed off one of the red squads of Locust Destroyers, but the green and the blue ones are still there, and they'll probably reanimate next turn. So those invader ATVs probably won't be here much longer. Last thing to note is that I did Deep Strike in my my pack leader with the jump pack because I wanted to be able to still score some primary. So, or I wanted to score my home objective just to get the extra 2 VP. So that is it really for my turn. I don't score either of my secondaries, but I'm going to be keeping both of them because I will absolutely be able to score them next turn, and they're 13 victory points. This is turn 2, so I do start scoring primary. I control 3 objective markers in no man's land and 1 in my home objective, so I'll be scoring 17 on primary this turn. But Mr. Tron's response will be interesting to say the least. So that is it for this turn. So Mr. Tron had area denial and extend battle lines as his secondaries this turn. He decided to go for a sort of center momentum push here to take out these Thunderwolf cavalry, but the Locust Heavy Destroyers couldn't take them out with ride hard, ride fast, making them -1 to hit, -1 to wound, and some rolls. And they're pretty much the rest of the story is about what you think it is. The wraiths and everything pretty much just fought. Some of the Thunderwolves died, some of the wraiths died. They're trading blows. And he actually decided to leave his back objective so that Emotech could have a higher chance of survival. So he ran off. It doesn't mean he won't score 2 points on primary, but he does score at the end of his turn 5 for holding this one. And then he did score extend battle lines partially, and he didn't score area denial, and he decided to discard it. So that is the end of Mr. Tron's turn as we go into my turn 3. Side note about the objectives, we forgot about needing to be on your home deployment for extend battle lines. These Immortals didn't even do anything on their turn. Didn't even move, didn't even shoot, didn't do anything. So it just moved them and advanced them down here. And they're OC2, and Grimnar and the Terminators here are OC1. So he takes his objective, meaning that at the end of Tron's turn, the score is 10 to 12, because he gets an additional 2 for holding this back objective. So Just got done my command phase. I targeted these green wraiths with Oath of Moment. I kept my 2 secondaries of area denial and capture enemy outpost. The only thing giving me area denial right now is this reanimator and this technomancer, which I feel like I can deal with adequately enough. And I have capture enemy outpost once I move my terminators and stuff onto this objective, regardless if the immortals are there or not. So I didn't feel the need to get rid of either of my secondaries. They were both pretty good. I felt as though that I would target these guys with Oath of Moment because I do want to push through this flank, and I have the most strength here because I'm still at 7. Over here, my flank's a little weak, but also with the Hail Strike down here, I should be able to clear this left side a little better, especially since there's no more Locust Heavy Destroyers. The Immortals are going on. Things are not condensed over here. This is not a problem. This is very much condensed. There are a lot of good tool wheels. Reanimators still here. Immortals are still here. 3 squad of Locust Heavy Destroyers are still here. Wraiths are still here. So getting this flank really is what I think is more important, because all this other stuff is kind of already going the way that I expected it to. So we'll be back on the end of my turn to show you what the board looks like. So on this squad, I don't know what he's laughing about. The Wraiths died. The Reanimator remained. In the middle, I was able to kill the Technomancer, but I wasn't able to kill this Reanimator, which is still within the 6 inches of the center. So I was denied max points in area denial, but I do score 3. And here, you use the stratagem to reanimate, and rolled max on it with the Reanimator there. So pretty much everything I did there was undone.
No. You killed a guy.
I killed 1 Wraith, effectively. And then, obviously, down here, the Terminators moved on to the objective, killed the Immortals, and now I've got capture enemy outpost. So, like, I score 11. I could have scored 13, but not a big deal. And then I'll score primary here as well, and then we'll move on to Tron's turn 3. So these are the secondaries Tron got. He got Overwhelming Force, Cleanse, elected to keep both of them. After his reanimation protocols, basically all the reanimators went back up to full. The 1 Wraith that I did manage to kill basically last turn came back over here, and I think might even be on full. Oh no, it's not. It's got 2 remaining. And then down here, Emotech, basically he got the reanimation of all his Lich Guard. So this is the state of the board before Tron's turn. We will come back at the end. This is what the end of Tron's turn looks like. He failed to score Cleanse, just couldn't get anybody onto an objective without falling them back to perform the action. He did score Overwhelming Force for 3 because he managed to kill my Thunderwolf Cavalry here in the center, and they were touching this objective. So did clear them off. Over here, the Reanimator died. So Herald Deathwolf's flank, like I was hoping last turn, is kind of pushed through. And over here, we're on this left side, we're just kind of continuing to slap each other over and over again. And that's all it's really been. But this center objective was cleared out by Emotech and his Lich Guard, pretty much. There's only 2 characters left over there, so got some flanks going on. And then he moved away from this back objective, so Logan Grimnar with his steady 5-inch movement may get close enough to make a charge, but doubt is high. But that is the end of Tron's turn. Almost forgot to record, but the 2 secondaries I pulled were Assassinate, Defend Stronghold. I kept them both because I got a guy on my home objective, so I should score that. And Assassinate, I basically have to kill a Technomancer or Emotech. This is actually what the board looks like after my charge phase, because I forgot to do my command phase. So these blue rays are Oath of Momented in the hopes that I can kill the Technomancer. I basically moved everything up, tried to condense everything in the center. I shot a little bit of these Lich Guard, but they reanimated with the Awakened Dynasty stratagem, so they were able to pretty much go back to full after I got done dealing with it. These guys charge here, these guys charge there. I managed to charge the Terminators into those Immortals, but I still have 1 Terminator on the objective. And then I charged over here. And I didn't shoot at these blue Wraiths, so before you say Tron should have used the reanimation, strat here. I didn't let him because I didn't shoot at them. I pretty much shot everything at the Lich Guard, and surprisingly didn't do really a lot of damage. So I'll come back at the end of my turn and show you what the board state looks like. This is what the end of the turn looked like. Cleared out everything over here, scored Assassinate, didn't even touch Emotech, killed that Reanimator, narrowed this squad down, and then we took out the last little bit of Immortals over here. We couldn't consolidate back onto this objective, so we're just chilling out there. But we score Assassinate, we're waiting to score Defend Stronghold. But yeah, that's me. At turn 3, I got really close to maxing out secondary and primary, so we decided to call it and math out from there. Basically, Emotech would have had to gone up in here. We assumed that he was able to kill the Invader ATV with 2 wounds and an attack bike. I would have pretty much ignored him because I had Engage on all fronts and some other position-based secondaries for my last few secondaries, which required me not going towards the center of the battlefield. So I just kind of let him do whatever. So he went in there, killed them. He had no prisoners in Storm Hostile, so he scored a few points there, got some primary. And then on his last turn, he pulled Bring It Down. So we just saw if he could come down here, killed this Storm Speeder Hailstrike that was right there, and then he has enough consolidation moves to go back onto the objective and score some primary. So my final points at the end of the game when I max out are 90. I believe Tron finished with a score of 43. So GG. I think deploy servo skulls as a primary is not very good. It kind of overly rewards like fast armies, because basically I was able to, with my Thunderwolf cavalry being 10-inch move, having advance and charge, having a strat that gives me +9 to movement, I was able to pretty much get on all the objectives in the middle of the board and move them back behind me so that you would have to kill my Thunderwolf cavalry to get anywhere. And that's a very difficult feat in of itself. I think if me and Tron weren't playing Deploy Servo Skulls, the score would have been a lot closer because these objective markers wouldn't have moved. They would have been further down, and Tron could have had more dudes on them. Because there were a number of times where Tron had like an Immortal or just like a lone unit somewhere on the board that was able to perform an action like Cleanse or put OC on an objective. And had the ability of Deploy Servo Skulls not been an effect where I moved these objective markers back, he would have actually been able to do that. But because Deploy Servo Skulls is so rewarding to like early game aggression, I just think it was a little unfair here. It was kind of undone with hidden supplies by putting 2 objective markers in the center. But that didn't fix the problem that I think the side objectives have, which is where a lot of the game, I think, was decided. So I think it still was a good game. We got to see Wraiths and Thunderwolf Cavalry, 2 pretty meta-relevant units in this game, slap each other around with some dead fish. But again, I do really think that Deploy Servo Skulls primary just was a little unfair in this situation. Do you have anything you wish to say, Tron?
I dice for Warforged Dice.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next video. Peace.